In a nutshell, child impact assessments are about making sure children are listened to, supported and included in decision making about that support at every stage of a parent's journey through the justice system. They're really about making sure that the rights of children are upheld.
Not seen, not heard. And that's the problem we've got. We have young people that have been impacted by a relative going to prison, and they've not been part of it. Nobody's really concerned up until now about what has impacted them, how they coping with it, but this is what this is all about. This is now getting their voice. They are being seen, they are being heard.
What this project is doing, it's making sure that all criminal justice facing agencies, all child facing agencies, that we collectively see children, that we recognise that they're there, that we recognise that they are hugely impacted by decisions that are being made. And really importantly, not just seeing them, but listening to them and hearing what they're saying and including their views in decision making.
We weren't really considering children's needs, rights, well-being when we were making decisions that might impact their life. We weren't doing that actively. And this Child Impact Assessment Toolkit gives people the guidance in terms of how do you open up a conversation with a young person? How do you ask them, how do you feel about this? So this toolkit and this training is really kind of focusing on that.
So you don't necessarily know how to navigate those conversations, and having the assessment just make it a little bit easier. I think it has to be acknowledged that you use it as a guide rather than sitting in front of a young person and going through the script. Even for me, it's like, oh, I can ask a young person this question because it's outlined in black and white. You don't doubt yourself. Is that too probing? Is that? Yeah, so I think it's a useful guide, absolutely.
So I suppose what I really want to see change is the engagement that we have with children and young people, really move on from quite superficial, focusing on the adults, opposed to the impact that decisions have on children, so that our workforce are much more tuned into some of those behaviours, some of those needs that those young people have, to make sure that we're much more responsive, we're working in a trauma-informed way, and that we're able to work alongside them.
So what I would like to see from this is children and young people supported at the earliest opportunity. To have a parent or a sibling disappear from the house for a period of time is something that's very difficult to cope with, and to do that without support is not where we want to be.
I think child impact assessments are already changing the world by making sure we give an opportunity for children, for people to come alongside children and just ask them how they're doing, how they're feeling and what they need. And that for me is the most exciting thing. This is child by child, within family by family, really drilling down into what is it that's going to make the difference. And it's often small things that make the difference. It's kindness, compassion and humanity.